Dear all, I would like to welcome you all in the lecture series of Basic Electrical Engineering. In this video, I am going to discuss the previous semester question paper which has happened in the year of May 2022. I am mainly focusing on Module 5 in this session. You know, in the earlier sessions, that is Session 1 and Session 2, I have covered Module 1, Module 2, Module 3 and Module 4 respectively, and discussed each question in brief. Now I am going to have a brief discussion on Module 5. First of all, let me share the screen of question paper so you can have an observation on the particular question paper. So Module 1 we already covered, and Module 2 that is also covered in the first session. Moving on to Module 3 and Module 4 that is covered in the previous session. Today we are going to focus on Module 5. First of all, I request you to go through the question. 9A, everybody can have an observation on 9A. What is the question? What is electric power supply system? Draw a single line diagram of typical AC supply system. How do you give the answer? So I prepared the answer key for you. You can have an observation. So I'm talking about 9A. So you can give the definition of electric supply system. Electric supply system is also known as grid. Electric supply system is a combination of power generating station, power transmission system, and a power distribution system. If you write the definition, you can get 2 marks. Next, you need to draw the single line diagram of electric supply system. Single line diagram must and should comprises of generating station, then power transmission and power distribution. Do mention the voltage level very clearly. In power transmission, do mention primary power transmission and secondary power transmission. Moving on to power distribution, you have to mention primary distribution and secondary distribution. Don't forget to mention the rating. So draw the symbol of transformer appropriately and mark all the levels of voltage very clearly. Then no one can stop you. Then you are expected to write a brief explanation on each points. No need to elaborate. See the marks. Maximum marks is 6 marks. You should have a good time manager. Manage your time and proceed accordingly. Single line diagram. If you want to see the single line diagram, I would like to show you how the single line diagram look like. So let me share the screen of that particular topic. Single line diagram of power transmission, power generation, power distribution, collectively known as electric power supply system or AC power supply system. So this is the way how to draw the single line diagram. Do mention generating station, then primary transmission, secondary transmission. Later on you have to mention about primary distribution and ultimately secondary distribution. So if you draw the single line diagram, that is a lot more sufficient. If you need the single line diagram, please pause this video and try to draw. It is one of the most important questions from the first part of Module 5. Let me discuss further. I'm going to go for the discussion of 9B. Everybody can have an observation on 9B. What is the necessity of earthing? Explain plate earthing. You should know what is earthing. Fundamentals of earthing. Then you have to draw plate earthing, the pictorial representation of plate earthing. Let us see how to answer for this. If you write the necessity of earthing, that is that will be allotted for 2 marks. 2 marks will be allotted for that. Then you need to produce the diagram of plate earthing. If you draw the diagram neatly with all the dimension, you will be getting 3 marks. And you are expected to write some important points on plate earthing. Where does it use? What about the specifications? And necessity, how to make out, all the things you can explain in brief. Altogether 8 marks. So some cases you may get another type of earthing, that is called a rod earthing. So same question can be repeated in the forthcoming examination as well. So do follow this effectively. So if you want, I will show you the diagram of plate earthing. So let me show you. I would like to show you the answer, how to write brief note on earthing and plate earthing. I have already prepared the notes. I'll take you that particular notes. See, you already know what is earthing. So give a brief explanation about earthing. The process of making a planned continuous connection between non-current carrying parts of electrical wiring installation and the earth and some other conducting bodies known as earthing. Why earthing? Brief explanation can be given. And here, no need to explain two types. So whatever the question, based on the question, you are supposed to give the answer. Plate earthing, you have to explain. See how the plate earthing can be done. And the need diagram you are supposed to draw. Simple diagram. This is a simple diagram only. So you have to mention the plate, area of the plate, what about the distance, depth, everything has to be mentioned. What are the major segments of plate earthing? If you are not comfortable with this diagram, you can go for another diagram also. There are two diagrams I already shared. So any diagram can be drawn, okay, as your wish. So these are the valuable points you are supposed to add in your answer book. I think you can follow up this very easily and you can score full marks. Now moving on to 9C. What is 9C question? You can go through that. Explain the working principle of fuse and MCB. That fuse and MCB are belong to equipment safety, where earthing is belong to personal safety. All right. Now moving on to the fuse and MCB. How to make out in an effective manner. So let's see the answer key first. So working principle of fuse and diagram has to be specified. You will be getting 3 marks. Then working of MCB with the figure. If you draw it effectively, definitely you can score 3 marks. Altogether 6 marks. So find out the magnitude of that particular marks. Based on the marks only you are supposed to answer. Otherwise, you may not get the sufficient time for completing the examination because you have to answer all the questions now. So based on the marks you are supposed to proceed. What are all the points you can add in fuse? So let me show you. So go through the slide. So regarding the fuse MCB, okay, go through the MCB. Why MCB? What is the necessity of MCB? I have explained in brief. Go through that. What are the major segments of MCB? How does MCB operate? Correct. Those points you can explain in brief. So these points are more than sufficient. Then regarding the fuse, what are the information you can able to add? If necessary, you can draw this particular diagram. From this diagram, we'll come to know that fuse always connect at the line or phase terminal. Fuse never be connected at the neutral. Then current rating of the fuse is very important. Different ratings of fuses are available like 5 ampere, 32 ampere, etc. Then how the fuse ensure protection? How does the fuse operate? All the things you can able to observe from the particular PPT and you can follow up the answer. Okay, then do mention the advantages of fuse. What are the drawbacks of fuse? All the things you can explain very clearly. Hope this is clear to everyone. Now moving further, let me move on to question number 10A. Explain the components of low voltage distribution with the neat sketches. The transmitted power need to be distributed to the customer side. There are two types of distribution. One is primary distribution, another one is secondary distribution. There is a simple diagram which I wanted to show you. See, from the transmission system, you can able to see a step-down transformer. Let me use the marker. So there is a step-down transformer. Then it is directly given to distribution substation. It will change the level of voltage without changing the frequency and power. From the distribution substation, you can see different feeders. Note down feeders. What is feeders? So different region, we need to divide the supply. So feeders helps out. Then feeders will be given to a pole mounted transformer. This is actually basically pole mounted transformer or substation, distribution substation. So by using this, you will be connecting to different houses. through the distributor and service main. There are service main. What is service main? There is a conductor which is connecting between the supplying company or utility company to the customer premises. That is called a service main. You can explain brief about service main also. There are different type of service main, overhead, underhead. Likewise, different type of service mains are available. However, for a first year students, only the basic information about service mains are more than enough. Now what you can do is you have to explain about each and every component. What is feeder? What do you mean by distributor? What is service main? What about pole mounted substation? Some roadsides and all, you can able to observe the pole mounted substation. No, what is the importance of that? So those things you can explain. Okay, total 3 plus 3 figure. If you draw the figure effectively, you will be getting 3 marks. If you can produce the explanation with the valuable points, definitely another 3 marks. Total, you will be getting 10 marks. Sorry, 6 marks. 3 plus 3 is nothing but 6 marks. Moving on to another question. A customer uses 10 kilowatts geyser and 6 kilowatts electric furnace and 5 number of 100 watts bulb for how many hours? 8 hours. How many units of electrical energy have been used? Also, you have to define what is electrical energy units. Here it is very simple. So there are 10 kilowatts geyser. How many units is available? How many numbers available? Only one number, correct? No. Then 6 kilowatts electric furnace. So 6 kilowatts. No, 6 kilowatts. How many electric furnaces are available in the house? Only one. And 5 number of 100 watts bulb. What is 100 watts? 100 watts is nothing but 0.1 kilowatts. No, 0.1 kilowatts. So likewise, you can able to mention. Okay, 100 means 100 watts. 100 watts. No, 100 divided by 1000. That is nothing but how much? 0.1. So like that, you can able to make out. Then what you're supposed to do is how long it is going to operate, how many hours it is going to operate. So 8 hours. So let us make out 8 hours. Then if you multiply, you will be getting 132 kilowatt hour. That is nothing but 132 units. Now you can define units also. What is units? 1 unit. What is nothing but 1 unit? 1 unit is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour. It is a commercial unit of electricity, economical unit or commercial unit. Correct? No? Hope you'll be receiving the electricity bill from the supplying company. So in that particular bill, you will be understanding. You can see that 100 units, 1000 units, like that. Depends on the usage. Okay, these are the points you are supposed to add. How the marks is distributed? I'll be showing you the answer key. See, if you complete the problem, definitely you will be getting almost 6 marks. You will get it. Not almost 6 marks. You will get it. If you write the definition of unit, you will be getting 2 marks. Fine. No? So this is a distribution of that particular question. Now moving on to the last question. Please read the question carefully. What do you mean by electric shock? Write a short note on precautions against electric shock. Electric shock is nothing but sudden discharge of electricity through a particular part of a body. That is called electric shock. So you can write almost how many? It's 8 marks question now. So definition carries 2 marks. Another 6 marks. You can write an important 6 points. 6 important points need to be written in an effective manner. Underline the important points. Like this, you can able to make your answer book neat and tidy. It's more. It should be impressive. Okay, you have to impress others. That point you have to remember. Those who are evaluating, they should get an impression on you that the particular students are knowing the fundamentals very clearly. See, electric shock definition, you will be getting 2 marks. See, you can produce the similar definition. Okay, there are different definitions available. I am not saying that you have to follow the same definition. So whichever you comfortable, you can go ahead. Write down any 6 precautions to avoid the electric shock. If you want, I will show you what are the precautions to be made against electric shock. So I already prepared the PPT. So you can have a look on this. Let me scroll down. At least you need to mention 6 points. See, electric shock definition is available. Then what are the precautions? See, there are several points, but whichever the points are most important, you can find out. See, different precautions with the graphical diagrams. all the things I explained clearly. Fine. Yes. These are the major checklists you need to follow to avoid electric shock. Now we have completed the important questions from module 5. Okay, sometimes they may ask, explain two-part tariff. There are some numerical examples based on two-part tariff. Those questions also, one of the important questions belong to module 5. Let me know if you are having any questions. I'm very happy to answer. You can put your questions in the comment box. Definitely I can reply back as soon as possible. I wish you all the very best for your examination, and make utilize 3 hours completely, and don't leave any single question. Write down the answer with the proper number, and write face with the confidence. These are the few tips I want to add along with this presentation. Finally, thank you very much for watching this video.